Today I did a presentation for Institute for Educational Advancement. It's a great organization. Check them out. It was on advocacy for your child and bridge building with schools. And one of the topics that came up was boredom. And I don't believe your child should be bored in school. There's no excuse for that. And the presentation today and the conversation was all around how we can effectively advocate for our kids with schools without burning bridges. And in fact, why don't we build bridges? How can we do that and create a really good, positive, constructive relationship with the school so that our kids are not bored in school, because that's such a terrible thing. Kids who are struggling to learn material actually have the opportunity for baby neurons to be integrated into the neural network, whereas kids who are utterly bored and not having to struggle, they don't get as many baby neurons integrated into their network. This is inference that I've drawn from a rat model, but I think it's probably fair to say that's why we hate being bored in school. However, I do think that paradoxically being bored outside school is actually a good thing. I don't think that constantly reaching for our device or putting our kids on devices for entertainment while, say, older brother or sister is doing their thing at the hockey rink or the soccer field, I don't actually think that's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea while driving to be on a device. I think it's really important that outside of school and when we're just going about life, we be engaged with the world around us and allow our minds to roam. One of the words I taught my kids when they were younger is just the notion of personal fables. Like, what are the stories that we're telling ourselves about ourselves? Every time we leave an event, we leave something, we leave an experience, we're hatching a new personal fable. And if we're not watching that, if we're not actually aware of what we're thinking, then we don't have a chance to rectify maybe some misconceptions that we've developed. Like, just for instance, in this presentation, I felt myself pretty anxious. My voice didn't even sound like it normally does. And I was out here reading, thinking about that, processing it instead of diving into carbs like I might do otherwise. And I realized it was because I couldn't see the thumbnails of the people. I had a whole bunch of audience engagement things set up, thankfully, but I couldn't see their little thumbnails. And I am so accustomed to working live and improvising with an audience, and I love that. It's probably why I like working with horses too, because you never know what's going to happen. But I couldn't quite connect with an audience I couldn't see, and that made me anxious. That was really interesting. I wouldn't have known that had I not been out here just kind of reflecting and processing instead of, doing something else that was distracting. So I encourage you to be bored and go analog and do that with your kids. Thanks for listening.